Hello and welcome to Teetotaling Time Lords. This is Jerome, and I just want to apologize first off and foremost for being away for so long. Drew and I are both in the middle of our semesters, and they've gotten pretty crazy and hectic, both school and personal life stuff recently, and I just wanted to apologize for that. We are in the work of some amazing projects. There's something coming up in May that we're going to try to do. See that if that comes of something, we're not sure. We don't really want to say anything about it at this point in time, just in case it doesn't work out. One thing that we do want to promote is here soon we're going to have a really interesting video. It's actually going to be a few videos called the Doctor Who Hunger Games, or the Doctor Games. And it's an idea that we've had for a really long time, and we're just really excited to finally be doing them. Now, the Oscars were a couple weeks ago, and that got me thinking, I wonder how many people from the show have been nominated for Oscars. So I went ahead and did some research, and I'm going to share what findings I found with you. So, first off, we have nominations for Best Original Screenplay. John Cleese, in 1988, was nominated for A Fish Called Wanda. However, he would lose out to Rain Man. Some people may be asking, John Cleese, how does he count? Well, he had a small-time cameo in the Fourth Doctor's run. I know that's really technical, but there's a couple others that are pretty technical on this list too. I had to make a line though, and my line stops at basically TV. So there are a couple actors who were in just exclusively audios, and I decided not to count them for this piece. Now, moving on to our second category, we have nominations for Best Supporting Actress. Sophie Okonedo, I'm so sorry if I butchered that name, in 2004 was nominated for her fantastic role in Hotel Rwanda. Hotel Rwanda is a great film about the Rwandan struggle in the 1990s, and it's definitely a tearjerker I would recommend. She was in Doctor Who in the 2003 animated series called Scream of the Shulka. However, she is better well known as playing Liz 10, or Queen Elizabeth X, in The Beast Below and The Pandorica Opens. That role she had in Hotel Rwanda, however, would lose to Renee Zellweger in Cold Mountain. Next up, Best Supporting Actor. Okay, we actually have the same year for this, two different actors. First, we have Sir Ian McKellen's role of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. His Doctor Who claim to fame is that he lent his voice as the great intelligence in the New Who Christmas special, The Snowman, in 2012. Now, some of you may be thinking, does voice really count? Well, one, it's the TV show, so I'm going to count it. And two, it's Sir Ian McKellen. Like, duh. However, he would go on to lose to Jim Broadbent, who played one of the many incarnations of the Doctor in the 1999 parody Curse of the Fatal Death, which starred Rowan Atkinson. Next up, we have nominations for Best Actress. First, we have Pauline Collins in 1989. She's the only person on this list to both appear in Classic and New Who. She appeared alongside the second Doctor in a serial. However, only 2 episodes of that still exist, and that's pretty sad. However, if you want to see her, you can watch her in Tooth and Claw, where she plays Queen Victoria in the 2006 episode alongside David Tennant. However, she would lose to Jessica Tandy for Driving Miss Daisy. Now, in 2009, there was Carey Mulligan, who, as many will remember, was the primary character in the episode Blink, where she faced a new villain in the Whoverse, the Weeping Angels. Now, I know Drew in his last video went to length on how the Weeping Angels should be retired. Well, this was 2006, and they were new, and they were scary. However, her role in an Education, which landed her a nod, would lose out for Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side. Next up is Best Actor. In 1980, we have John Hurt, who finally appeared in Doctor Who after several years of fans wanting him in there, as the War Doctor in the 50th special and also then audios. His portrayal as Joseph Merrick in The Elephant Man lost out to Robert De Niro in Raging Bull that year, and I know he was great in it, but just De Niro's character in Raging Bull was just breathtaking. Then, 8 years later, in 1988, Sir Ian McKellen was nominated for his role in Gods and Monsters. He is the only person to be on this list twice, and however that year he would lose to Italian actor Roberto Benigni in 1988 for La Vita è Bella, or the American title Life is Beautiful. Then our next category is Best Live Action Short. Now many of you are probably thinking, Best Live Action Short? Why is that last? Well, we decided to save the best for last, actually, and you'll see why in just a minute. We're going to take you back to 1995, where a little-known actor picked up an Oscar for directing It's a Wonderful Life, starring Richard E. Grant, another actor who played one of the several incarnations in the parody Curse of the Fatal Death. However, this actor, who won in 1995, was only 36 at the time. He's now 57. He's one of the most qualified actors to ever play his role in Doctor Who, alongside acclaimed actors such as Sir John Hurt and the first Doctor, William Hartnell. If you haven't figured it out yet, it's Peter Capaldi. Won many awards in his career. He has also picked up That Little Golden Man. So in the last video, Drew asked me what villains I would like to see retired, and I could only think up of a couple. I know he wanted me to get 3 or whatever, but I can only think of a couple. First, the Missy the Master. TARDIS Archives has a video in which he discusses the number of times the Master has shown up in all his carnations. Well, let's just say it's a lot. And while the Master is one of the most beloved villains in Doctor Who history, we've seen a lot of the Missy and the Master in New Who, and I think it's time to retire him or her for a couple more years. Sound good, Chibnall? Secondly, I think the Zygons need to take a break. They left their imprint on New Who. They didn't appear for many, many, many years. However, they've had a lot of importance and screen time in the past few years. Therefore, I think it's time for them to take a break again. Move over for some more Centauran stories. Thank you for checking into Teetotaling Time Lords, and I will see you next time. Please like and subscribe and all that stuff. Drew, isn't it just great that we live in places that have giant angel statues looking over them? Just keep that in mind, and I'll see you for the Doctor Games.